Recognizing the signs of emotional abuse in a relationship can be difficult, especially when it's happening to you. But ending the abuse and recovering emotionally begins only after accepting the reality that you're in an abusive relationship. That's why in this video, I'm going to share the 9 not so obvious signs of emotional abuse in a relationship. So don't go anywhere because we're starting right now. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Antonio Borello. Welcome to my channel. I'm a psychologist and relationship coach. And this channel is all about helping you build great relationships so you can grow happy with the people you love. So if you want to make your love life the best part of your life, start now by clicking the subscribe button and the bell notification so you aren't missing anything. Okay, so on to our topic, signs of emotional abuse. Emotional abuse is any act such as a verbal attack or humiliation or isolation or intimidation or any other treatment that diminishes another person's sense of identity, dignity, and self-worth. This could include withholding love or communication or support and controlling where you go or who you talk to or how you use your money. Emotional abuse might also include spying or stalking or invasion of your personal space or your belongings. And all of these acts disregard your personal boundaries and have the same goals: to control you. In many ways, emotional abuse is more detrimental than physical abuse because it slowly destroys a person's sense of self and personal value. It cuts to the core of your essential being and can create lifelong psychological scars and emotional pain. And I know many of you are probably thinking like, that would never happen to me. I will never allow anyone to control me or engage in abusive behavior. But of course not. No one would ever knowingly dive into an abusive relationship. The problem is, emotionally abusive relationships don't start off as abusive. In fact, they may start off as incredibly intense and passionate love affairs. And that leads me to the first sign of emotional abuse in an intimate relationship. Number 1, the new relationship moves very fast. See, in the beginning, an abuser will work to make you feel so appreciated and loved, you won't even notice he is controlling you as you relinquish your life an inch at a time while becoming more and more entrenched in a relationship. Abusers hold themselves back until they gain their partner's trust and love, and it works. So keep watching because this is super important. It's the easiest sign to miss. So let's say you just met this guy. He's handsome, he's successful, incredibly romantic, and seemingly perfect. He goes out of his way to show you his attention and devotion and affection. He's charming and he treats you wonderfully. But the relationship moves very quickly and you find yourself texting and talking constantly. He wants to spend every day with you and makes proclamations of love and wanting to be exclusive. Oh, and he occasionally makes surprise visits to your work to drop off a gift or flowers when you aren't expecting him. Again, everything is moving so fast and so intense, you begin to feel overwhelmed, maybe even a little bit pressured. But you overlook this because you feel like it's romantic and intense love. But soon enough, he begins to require that you're always accessible. Anytime he texts or calls you, he expects you to answer right away. And then they begin questioning your whereabouts, who you are with and what you did, and they try to play it off as being very interested in what you're doing and even worrisome. And you'll also notice that they are really critical and mistrusting of your friends and family members. And they're using the excuse that they're only trying to protect your best interests. They rationalize their behavior by claiming that they worry about you and are concerned for your safety. Still, you feel like he's testing your limits and boundaries and you're feeling smothered. You begin to slowly lose touch with friends and family members, and the relationship becomes overwhelming and exhausting. At this point, it's easy to find yourself feeling unsure and searching for an excuse or justification for his behavior. And so, you decide to call him out on his behavior, and that's when you see the second sign: irrational jealousy. So number 2, irrational jealousy. You begin to recognize that your partner doesn't like the idea of sharing you with anyone, even in the most innocent situations. You notice that he becomes angry and starts to show emotional signs of jealousy anytime you talk to a person of the opposite sex, or when someone shows up on your Facebook or Instagram page. But this is not jealousy driven by care. This is jealousy driven by control. And an emotional abuser will make you feel guilty or even shameful for simple, innocent interactions with others. And as their jealousy begins to worsen, they start to suspect or accuse you of cheating. And as a result, you work harder to try to appease their fears by spending less time out with friends and by cutting off communication with anyone who could be considered romantically interested. And when you confront him about his jealousy, he acts like he's the victim, claiming that he was cheated on in the past or that he had been abandoned by a parent or a prior relationship. In reality, he's just attempting to hide his jealousy. And what are the results of his jealousy? Well, to avoid confrontations, you become increasingly isolated from support systems like friends and family, and you become more and more dependent on him. So as we move forward to the next sign, we begin to see more and more of the recognized signs of emotional abuse. So keep watching because these are about to get really bad. Number 3, abusers use sarcasm and make jokes to put you down. Abusers humiliate their partners. They insult and put you down both in private and in front of others as a method of eroding your self-esteem, which they hope will make you more and more dependent on them. Then, when you or someone else complains, they laugh it off and either claim that they were just joking or that you have no sense of humor or you're just being too sensitive. But you both know the intent of the joke. He wasn't kidding when he made fun of your weight. He was simply trying to mask his cruelty and disrespect with humor. Number 4, abusers make you doubt yourself. Well, we all feel self-doubt sometimes, and that's why this form of emotional abuse is so effective and destructive. Sometimes an emotional abuser will deliberately lie to you to confuse you and make you doubt your perceptions. They will make you doubt your own observations and memory and sanity. Or they will argue and wear you down until you don't trust what you know is true. And sometimes they will straight out deny what you saw. Emotional abusers will attack your clarity, your ability to tell right from wrong, your intelligence, and your good sense. They will remind you of mistaken perceptions you've had in the past or insist on how superior their own intelligence is. But the goal is always the same, to destabilize your sense of sanity, your sense of competence and self-worth. Number 5, you're on a daily emotional roller coaster. One minute your significant other is loving, and the next he's punishing you for doing things incorrectly. This is a major red flag. Manipulation plays a huge role in most abusive relationships, and this constant emotional roller coaster ride of arguments and apologies is definitely unhealthy and a sign that it's time to walk away. The next 3 signs are not so obvious, but they most accurately reflect the personality of emotional abusers. So make sure you understand and remember these 3. Number 6, they're hypersensitive. Another sign is hypersensitivity. This refers to the abusive partner overreacting to little things, to comments, to jokes, or small issues. Abusers often have low self-esteem and take everything personally. They may be easily insulted or claim that the world is against them if they meet with a slight setback. If you disagree about anything, no matter how trivial, you're insulting them to their core and calling them a terrible person who can't do anything right. And this often shows itself in a set of rules that have a clear double standard. If she glances at another man, that means she doesn't find her partner attractive anymore and she's cheating on him. If she comments on him blatantly staring at another woman, though, she's calling him a pervert and accusing him of terrible things that he would never do. A double standard. Number 7, they're super critical and act superior. Abusive people criticize anyone and anything all the time, even when they know nothing about what they're criticizing. They tell you how much better they could do something. And warning, this can look like confidence at first, but with an abuser, it can turn out to be egomania and abrasive arrogance. Healthy people have no need to belittle others. They feel that everyone is equal and that there is room in the world for everyone to be great. On the other hand, abusers want the world and everyone around them to be perfect, but their own minds are a mess. They can't make sense of their own stuff, so they focus on their fixing energy onto others. They want to talk about what everyone else is doing wrong. Number 8, they're blamers. Blame is placing the entire responsibility for one's unpleasant actions or consequences and feelings on another person or external event, and insisting that others agree. A blamer refuses to admit that they've ever done anything wrong. They will always consider themselves a victim, and no matter what really happened, If something goes wrong, it's always someone else's fault. So they'll not apologize for anything because they consider themselves blameless in every situation. An early warning sign that you're dealing with a blamer is when they're talking about work or career or education and past relationships. A blamer will always take credit when things are going good and will always blame everyone around them but themselves when things are going bad. Blaming others for their failures makes them feel better about themselves and about their failures. So blamers will do everything in their power to make their failure someone else's fault, and eventually his failures will be your fault, making you feel guilty for things which you have no control over and nothing to do with. If you know a blamer, then this probably sounds pretty familiar. Number 9, they are mean or abusive towards others. It's not just about how they treat their new partner. Warning signs are often obvious in how the abuser treats everyone else. Like the waiter brings the wrong wine and it turns into a scene where the manager is called. Or someone bumps into him on the street and he yells obscenities even though he's not heard in the slightest. Or he makes critical comments about every other person in the room, not caring about who hears him. Abusers have short tempers and work hard to hide it from their partners. But pay attention to the way they treat strangers. You'll be surprised at what you might observe. Observing any of these signs once doesn't mean you should run for the hills. But if you're seeing multiple warning signs or a progressive pattern develop, you should be concerned. Be wise, get informed, and protect yourself. If something doesn't sound or feel right, do what's best for you and keep yourself safe. Of course, there are other signs of abuse that I haven't addressed today. So if you're wondering about your situation, please leave a comment and feel free to ask questions. There may be someone else who's dealing with the exact same situation that you're in. And sadly, people are often unaware of these signs until it's too late and they've completely relinquished their lives to an abusive and controlling partner. So please share this video with anyone who could benefit from seeing it. And if you found this video helpful, please take a moment and hit that thumbs up button. And please subscribe to get more videos that will help you build great relationships so you can grow happy with the people you love. Thanks for watching till the end. I'll see you in the next video.